This is another new Black World Order TV Productions. Chopper, chopper. Okay, family, just like I said, this is nature fighting back. We're talking about flip mode, right? When the poles that we're commonly grown accustomed to, north and south, east and west, trade places, right? So we talked about the universe being, right, 13.7 years old, right, billion years old. And this is what they say in science. They're also saying that the sun is roughly around 5 billion years old, 4.57 billion years old, right? And we're talking about Aurora, light frequency, right? One word, 6 letters with 13 segments. And I want you to pay attention to that. We got the 13 segments off of 5 of these 6 letters because the O again is not a segment because it doesn't have a beginning and an ending, right? The 13 segments came out of these 5 letters, A, U, R, R, A, right? And it brought us to a total of 74. So let's look at this. The 13.7 is hidden right here in plain sight, right? The M is a 13, right? But 6 plus 1 is 7, right? And they tell us that 13.7 billion years ago, a bang or a blast, a universe came into being and beginning to expand, right? And it's still expanding, right? Then the sun came 9.13 million years in, which would have been 4.57 billion years ago. So we have a 4, a 5, and a 7. If we look here again, hidden right in plain sight, among the one word, the 6 letters, right, in the 13 segments. 1 plus 3 is what? 4, right? If we subtract 1 from 6, we get what? 5. If we add 6 plus 1, we get what? 7, right? I know most of you got a high school diploma and some of you got a GED, right? But nobody ever taught you this. Nobody ever explained this to you, that the light frequency, right? The coronal mass ejection, right, is when a plasma begins to surface up from deep from beneath the sun, and a solar flare ejects itself out of within the sun. And within a period of 1 to 2 days, right, it will travel 93 million square miles, right, to reach a Earth, right, that is said to be of square mileage also. So I also want those of you who believe in the Bible or the Quran or believe in science, that when you're saying square mile, you're suggesting that the Earth is on a flat linear plane. You're also suggesting that the universe is on a flat linear plane because you're talking about square mileage, right? That's what you're talking about. Even if the lessons did not say square mileage when it said that the sun is 93 million miles away from the Earth, if you check conventional science, they're suggesting that the universe is flat. So also research that. Now let's get back to business. We're talking about light frequency. We're talking about the Aurora Borealis, right? In the northern point and the southern point, right? Ironically, if we take the S off of points, it adds up to 74. If we add the 19 to it, it adds up to 93. And the Earth is suggested to be 93 million square miles in a flat linear universe. away from the earth. We're talking about, again, the 13.7 billion years of the universe and the 4.57 billion years age of the sun. We're talking about light frequency. We're talking about light, plasma traveling to the earth, interacting with the magnetosphere, right? That is a firewall, right? If you look up what a firewall is, it's a partition or an inhibitor to keep fire from burning something. It's a firewall. So the magnetosphere is in fact a firewall. But we're talking about Li-Fi. We're talking about quantum computers. Was it quantum computers dealing with firewalls? Is it dealing with plasma? If it's dealing with the transferring of information through light frequencies and waves. So that's what we're talking about. They're trying to counter what they know is coming. It's a flipping of the poles. It's a flipping when these 2 points switch here, right? Causing a state of confusion, right? We know that when an earthquake happens, animals tend to behave differently, right? They behave differently. And if you notice over a period of 10 or 15 years, you notice that, the birds are not flying in the direction that they should be flying for the winter. They're actually flying in the opposite direction. They're being disoriented by a weakening magnetosphere that is now beginning to move, right? So when that flip happens, the AM and FM wave modulations are going to also be affected. So it's not only going to affect animals, dolphins, and different things in the ocean that also guide themselves, right, based upon this also force. This force, because the light is using the force in order to express the aurora.